Welcome to our weekly session where we're like, yo, where the fuck did we leave off? No one remembers.
It's all my fault. I'm a busy lady.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
That's not my name.
It's not your fault.
That's not my name.
Is this a joke?
Is this a joke?
At least we're in a trial. That makes it way easier.
They call me Stacy.
It's the investigations that are fucking impossible to like regroup on, and they keep getting longer.
I feel like this is how Phoenix feels about us.
That's fine. That's how we feel about
well, yeah,
him.
we feel about him. Yeah, he's a joke.
Have you considered doing many things like meeting your witness before the trial, or
asking them to tell you their story,
gathering evidence,
like getting an alibi from
gathering any evidence? Please do it. Is this a joke? Very well. Begin your testimony.
Well, this will help us. Oh, it's my baby broccoli.
Yeah, we're in the middle of the testimony. It's because he had his big long testimony where we then had to check like the video and everything. So we're still in that stage.
That was a delightful time.
Now we're in phase 2. So right now, I don't know if this was intentional by the game or not, but the biggest mystery for me is the fact that the guy just vanished. Like, yeah,
because there's the camera.
Like the camera's panning back and forth.
It didn't catch anybody leaving.
Yeah, and I'm like, where is this camera? Can you walk behind it? Because that makes it horrible. Is it really obviously like a camera on a tripod swiveling back and forth that's clearly in the middle of the room that you would just walk around on? It looks
like it definitely is totally in the middle of the room, which is funny because when we went into that room, it was not. There's no camera sitting there. We didn't see it,
but we never saw the fourth wall.
Oh my gosh.
Which is usually how these work. But
yeah, that's where they hide everything.
Yeah, there's always a wall like behind us that has the real killer on it.
Yeah, that's where he was. That's how he snuck out.
But yeah, like it's swirling back and forth. We see him come in. We see the other guy come in. We see the fight.
We see
the guy on the ground.
Because it was a pathetic fight.
And then we see the perpetrator is just.
Yeah.
He just vanishes from existence.
Dude, I told you he's in one of the lockers. I told you he climbs in there.
We're just like, where'd he go?
Which doesn't make sense anyway, because I don't know.
Yeah. There's one thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. And no one could ever have someone else's ID card because it pricks your finger and checks your DNA on the spot. Like a security version of like a blood sugar test.
I was thinking more so like it's a microchip. It's like in your skin. Yeah. You just have to,
Well, that would also be removable, especially if someone died.
Yeah, I've seen the Bourne Identity. They pry microchips out of people all the time.
Gross.
Yeah.
When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his ID card.
But I thought the whole point was that he didn't have it to show to you. And that's why you fought him. And then also, it was missing anyway.
Well, he came to confront him, and then the guy turned around with a knife, and then he talks about how he fought heroically when he just got his ass kicked.
I thought for sure in like a previous statement, he made a comment on how the reason that he was suspicious of this man was because he asked to see his ID card, and the guy didn't present it, and so that's why they got in the fight.
I don't think there's evidence we can check for that.
No, I'm like pretty positive he said that in an earlier statement, but Baby Rock Lee is
Baby Rock Lee.
Baby Rock Lee.
Even though he's older than Rock Lee.
You know what? Anime defies age. It never makes any sense.
An ID card record, I see. I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. Yours also has names on it? The ID used at 514 is that of the victim. Just before the crime, Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room?
Did he just make an astute observation for the first time in his whole career?
Are you allowed to do these? Judge.
Well, technically, I don't think so. I don't think he is allowed to say
no. I just mean I didn't know his character was allowed to have thoughts.
Isn't capable. I'm surprised this happened.
I feel like he hasn't had a thought since the tutorial case. This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. That's our explanation for why it's so tiny, I guess.
But
It's still weird that it's name specific.
so is there another?
Everyone only gets to have like one special case in their career per 2 years. I mean,
Yeah, because your locker's like a tiny little locker.
it's so small.
So is there another room for the non-important cases?
I had a bigger locker in high school.
Yeah. I actually didn't even have lockers in high school.
I had one, but I gave up on using it almost immediately.
Oh yeah, lockers are stupid. I'd rather just carry all my stuff around and break my back.
My backpack was ripping because it had so many books in it, and then it also had a Harry Potter book in it because I was working through that whole series over the course of like high school, and they kept getting bigger too.
Sounds like you did this to yourself.
I'm like, this is not helpful. But I had an 8-period day, so I had maximum number of classes in a day, and it's like it was like a mile. It felt like from one side to the other of the campus. So like, oftentimes you just didn't really have the time because you were supposed to get to your other class in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like, who has time to fiddle with a locker and then get to class in time where they're not going to like take excuses and so on. It's like, I'm sorry, my last class is literally the other side of the room. I mean, the other side of the building where they stopped making real buildings and started adding like lines of like portables, like all these temporary buildings for classrooms.
My school was like under construction almost the entire time I was there, in just different sections.
Oh, yeah,
so I immediately didn't have a locker. But then also like as soon as I left, my school became beautiful, and I was like, thanks. I missed having a nice school.
Yeah.
But
I went to my school like 3 years later, and it looked completely different. It was way better.
I know. It's like what the hell, guys? But the thing that's like super unfortunate is if you have to pee you have like no hope. If you have to like pee between classes, you're like,
everyone else is also trying to do it.
There's no way you can get to your locker and also use the bathroom and also make it to your class. They did not time any of this when they made these decisions. These poor kids.
Special cases. Special cases. Extremely violent cases involving police staff.
So there's a whole nother room. Like, how many evidence rooms do these people have? Do they all have stupid lockers with, like...
I mean, we know they have more because we were in a different archive room in a different case.
Yeah. I don't know. Where are all these rooms?
So these are specifically police officer...
Just police cases, I guess.
They're police officer involved violent cases.
That's so specific.
So yeah, like, was that knife used against a police officer before? Was the vase used against a police officer before?
I don't know if I don't even know if we're ever gonna... I guess we are probably gonna have to get into that case too. You think it's gonna come up in this case?
Yeah.
That whole other case?
If it's the ultra exclusive super extreme room for the most important, craziest evidence, why is that the one that Gumshoe puts all his dumb shit in?
I know. Yeah, why is he painting the blue badger in the special evidence room? He's got the
blue badger in there. He's got his paint in there. He's got his metal detector and other things in there. It's like, I don't think these people belong here. Might not be good at his job.
I don't know. I think these people need to organize their lives a little bit better. But anyways.
Maybe he really is a Red Stapler boy and he just doesn't work there. And they just like...
They really just humor him and give him pats on the head.
They throw him $20 every other week.
Yeah.
To make him feel included.
He goes and gets some coffee. Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end.
Me too. Though it doesn't make much of a difference.
Haha, because your hair's spiky already. Hee hee hee.
There were only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleared up by noon. Right, I see. Now, let us move on to the cross-examination. Here come those violent police.
Mystery Man 2.
Yeah, they just used the same name twice.
There's one other thing that proves the man was a Detective Goodman, sir. Detective Goodman, sir.
Cadence was all wrong. So until your earlier testimony, you believed this to be rock solid, do you? So unlike your earlier testimony, you believe this to be rock solid, do you? Making some crucial misreads.
You believe this to be Rock Lee, do you?
Yes, sir. Solid as
Rock
sir.
Lee.
Rock Lee. Are you sure you haven't left some room for a little rock leeway?
Ha ha, he's the funniest.
That was the worst way to put it. It's like, oh no, I'm a fraud. Deleting my whole channel.
If my hand wasn't wrapped up in bandages,
I even give the V for victory sign, sir. Who does that? What does that mean?
It's a peace sign, Keith. In Japan, when they ever do the peace
means
sign,
victory?
it's victory. That's why you always see like those tropes of the anime girls with the peace signs. Yeah, it's yatta. It means victory.
Yeah, it's the I just think the Chun-Li victory screen. Yeah.
Oh, Chun-Li's awesome.
She has the 2 hops and then the peace sign.
Yeah, she like kicks ass and does her spinning bird kick, and then she does yatta.
She's some hot nonsense. She just turns into a helicopter sometimes.
Yeah, no, she's.
It's like up down kick, I think, and she just like somehow flips upside down and spins like a helicopter and just flies forward like 5 feet, like horizontally perfectly. And I'm like, what?
My favorite Street Fighter character is Zangief, but he also does the tornado spin, which is also pretty impossible.
Yeah.
Where he just sticks his arms out and spins in a circle at people. But yeah, Chun-Li's my second favorite. She's awesome.
I was like Chun-Li and Vega.
Ugh, Vega's too pretty. Could he just use his right hand for that? Yeah, he could.
Yes,
But
he's an idiot.
He needs 2, apparently.
Apparently. V for victory. Let's hear him out fully. As we've seen, one never knows what he might say until the last very second.
Or anyone that we ever have had in the courtroom is the same way.
To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. Is that card hanging from your neck one of these ID cards? Yes, sir. The card right next to my cuff, sir. I keep it here so I won't ever forget it. What if someone were to steal it from you,
Good
keeping
question.
it out in the open like that?
I think
Maybe I shouldn't wear this around my neck.
I think it'd be easy to pickpocket Meekins.
Yeah.
You-
You know who's really easy to pickpocket?
Who?
A dead person.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about a dead person's ID card. It's like, it's very easy to take.
I know, but I still want to point out that he was filling out a form saying he had lost it.
Yeah.
No one's gonna bring that up.
Your card is easy to take. Well, we're about to bring that up, I think.
Ooh.
'Cause we just talked
about time.
couldn't somebody just take it? And we're gonna be like presenting that.
Like,
Probably
haha.
to that statement, actually.
Yeah.
Remember when I said 2 out of 3 times my tie gets stuck when I get out of my car? Well, the remaining time it's my ID card that gets stuck. How?
Yeah, it's so close to his body.
Stop leaning into the door like you want it to get you. Your tie is tucked in.
It's tucked in.
What the fuck? Maybe I should just leave this one alone. That one cut off automatically.
He said his ID card chokes him.
No. Was it on a lanyard? I thought it was on a clip.
You have to get a breakaway
Yeah, I thought he had... so it doesn't kill him.
so it doesn't kill him, yeah. Speaking of high school, we used to have to wear ID cards around our neck on a lanyard, and we
you
had
really?
breakaway ones so we couldn't choke each other with them.
Did you have a uniform?
No.
So I never had a uniform, and I had an ID card technically, but it was in my wallet, and then no one ever asked for it a single time.
I think the only time it comes up is like if you're leaving campus for lunch, you have to show it to prove that you're not like some creep who's just trying to come back onto the campus.
Just showing up.
Although to be honest, it's like, do I look like I'm here to to start
Did
shit?
you have to show people your ID card?
Yeah.
Oh, did you go to a type of high school that was like a building, with like a front door?
No. No, I mean it was like a whole campus, you know, but
People could like scrutinize you coming back.
yeah.
How would they know?
Well, there's like a gate and someone would stand there, and then you have to just flash your ID card to get in and get out.
My elementary school, middle school, and high school were all just open.
Oh, see, my
Like it
high
looked like
school was
it's like a
in the-
strip mall where you just walk in, and there's no real fences and gates really.
See, ours was downtown, so it's like it was surrounded by businesses and things. So they had like a big gate
Oh,
around
yeah.
the school. So you
Mine
couldn't.
were mostly surrounded by open fields. It was just they were like in the middle of nowhere, and yeah, like it was just there. And you just walked in, and that was the whole. There was no security really.
Yeah, I think they just,
Yeah.
they're like, do you actually go here? But it's funny because they really wouldn't look very well. I used to I'd lose my ID card all the time, and I'd just show them Pokemon cards, and they fucking wouldn't look. Yeah, like on my ID card, I would hole punch Pokemon cards, and put them there for fun. And then I would just when I was leaving, I'd just flash them my Pokemon card. It was a Snubble.
Snubble.
Yeah, and
I mean, you do just look identical.
I know. I knew. I was like, that's someone that looks like me. Actually, I look like Bellsprout. I should have shown Bellsprout.
You're like, why Snubble?
I don't know. It was a cute card. You know, whatever.
Didn't I give you a Snubble card?
You gave me the one
That's really specific.
from the movie.
I didn't even know like there was a connection, and I happened to give you a Snubble card by chance.
Snubble's not one of my favorite Pokemon, but you know, sometimes there's just some cards that have like really nice art, and then they just become like some of your favorite cards.
I saw Detective Pikachu, and then they gave me a Snubble card, and I'm like,
it's a scary.
Don't really want
It's
it.
a scary looking Snubble card too.
It's the CG like Snubble.
But I like collecting promos, so I kept it, and it's in my collection.
Maybe I should just leave this one alone. At any rate, each police officer has only one ID card. Both the police department and the prosecutor's office attest to this. I didn't say prospector.
Good job.
Please proceed with your testimony.
After the cowboy shows up, you'll start doing it every time.
Well, an ID card is used as a record of it. Let it be noted that this is the record the witness refers to. Let me see. Yes, that would be it. Detective Goodman. What's the matter? According to this, Mr. Edgeworth, your name is on here.
Yeah, we know already.
He takes a bow. So it is, Your Honor. It's like the 50th reason why he should be suspected.
Oh, they're all gossiping about him.
Maybe he's behind all this. Mommy, is that man in blue the murderer?
Which man?
Wait, me.
That guy.
I'm the blue one.
Yeah.
That child's an idiot. That child's a
Why
fool.
is that kid in court right now? He should be in school.
Maybe it's a Saturday.
Why is there court on a Saturday?
I don't know.
There probably is court on a Saturday. I don't know what I'm talking about.
We know the exact date this takes place on. We just gotta check the calendar and figure out what day of the week it is.
We don't know what year it is.
I think we do.
Do we?
It's probably findable. Then we have to go to do the deep lore and figure out whether or not Phoenix Wright uses the same calendar as that we do or not.
I don't see why he wouldn't.
They use the Hebrew calendar. It's the 7000. It's like the 50th reason why Edgeworth should be the suspect, and it keeps like bouncing off. There's like 10 pieces of evidence that point towards him, and we know that he probably didn't do it because we're us and he's him, and that's the narrative of the game and whatnot. But like, the fact that it doesn't ever point to him is bizarre.
I just think it's funny that I feel like everyone dismissed him being a part of it completely because he was already chosen to be the prosecuting attorney, and so they're like, oh well. Like, excluding this gentleman because he's a part of the staff, like, we have to pick from everyone else to decide who's guilty. And it's like, well, he can still be a part of it just because he's working here.
A big incentive would be to be a prosecutor so you can get somebody else to be convicted of your crime, which is what happened in our last case.
I wonder how many...
Our last case was the prosecutor was the killer.
I don't think it's ever happened in real life, but that would be fascinating.
Specifically in our last case, the prosecutor was like, wasn't he the killer twice?
Huh?
Was he the killer in both cases?
Who?
Or was Manny, or whatever, the killer in the modern case? I lost track. In the last case, we got so focused on the story got so focused on the elevator that I actually kind of forgot what happened on the boat, and like what the outcome of that was. Was it the boat guy that killed him?
Yeah, it was
right?
Yanni Yogi.
But then he threw mad shade at Castlevania Dracula.
It was Yanni Yogi, right? That killed him? Oh my gosh, I can't even remember!
I don't remember anymore. I got so fixated on the elevator afterwards.
Yeah, the elevator was outrageous, so I can't remember anything else.
Yeah. It would seem the inquiry committee will want to speak with you again today. I have nothing to be ashamed of regarding my actions or their consequences. But now, let us continue with the cross-examination.
Poor Mr. Edgeworth. It must be so difficult for him.
Being the murderer. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. Earlier, I believe you testified that when you asked the man to show you his card... Oh, here it comes. He pulled a knife on you. Yes, sir. He didn't show me any ID card, sir.
Yeah, see?
Don't you think that's odd?
Yes.
I mean, if he had his ID card, All they had to do was show it to you.
What if he got his knife and his ID card confused? He's like,
Yeah.
He like reaches in to show the ID card. He pulls out a knife instead. He's like, oh, oops.
Yeah. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife. Maybe he just panicked. Everything stems from contradictions. Let's point them out.
Mr. Wright, what do you think?
I'm confused.
What?
The problem with this ID card testimony is far too obvious. It's not like Edgeworth to miss something like this.
You're thinking too hard about it. Come on, let's show them what we got.
Show them what we got.
Yeah, be like Emma and not think hard at all.
Yeah, no, she does not think very hard.
You can contradict that. I mean, well, because he can't prove that. But I mean,
Let me review the schedule again.
I'm just thinking, at what point do you show that evidence showing that he lost his ID card? Like, where do you? I don't think it comes up yet.
Bruce Goodman. He was hot on his trail the same minute.
Yeah, which is like was funny to us last time because we were like, how did they not see each other?
Yeah.
But you know, like I said, there's like a whole minute.
And also, why is he so suspicious that person's in the evidence room? I don't remember what the reason for that was. Because, like, you need an ID card to get in, and he looks like one of the people that should have an ID card.
Well, no.
So what was suspicious?
Meekins wasn't suspicious of him. He just was going in there to put back the Blue Badger. And then when he was in there, he asked the guy to show him the ID card, and he didn't, and that's why they had a fight. Meekins was putting away the Blue Badger because everyone was ashamed of him.
No. That's Gumshoe.
No.
Gumshoe moved it to the room.
No, Meekins was the one in charge of Blue Badger that day.
Oh, no, no. It was at 4:50 Meekins put it there.
No, 450 took it out, and then he was putting it back, wasn't he?
Because in the video, he doesn't have the Blue Badger. It's already there.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think he put it there at 4:50.
Well, no.
He might have been coming to get it, maybe. And then he's like, oh my god, there's somebody on the monitor. I'm suspicious for some reason, even though we have a security system in place and he looks like one of the people that should be here.
I just remember him bragging about, like, or not really bragging, but being like, don't worry, I completed the mission. I put the Blue Badger away after everything was over. And everyone was like, we were like, who cares? It's not as important as any of the stuff that happened.
I love the fact that he can't write his ID number on the lost item report because the lost item is as ID. That's probably the evidence we propose, right?
I'm just trying to think
I just need to figure out which statement makes
I
sense.
feel like it would be the him saying,
I think it's probably the fact that he says the ID card person did it.
he says he used his ID card at the time of the crime.
Yeah.
You could say he couldn't have because it was missing.
So I probably contradict that with this exact piece of evidence, I think. Do you agree?
If it's gonna come up anywhere, it would be this statement, I
Yeah.
think. Either that or it's gonna come up later, but I think it's now.
Slam!
Yep, slam.
Wait 1 minute, Officer Meekins. I'm not good at waiting, sir. Okay.
All right.
How'd you survive jail?
Your mother must be annoyed with you.
Oh no. Mommy.
Oh god, gosh, I hate that joke so much. It's one of those ones you, like, if you grew up at that time, you heard that joke all the time at school.
Well, that was also like, I was relatively convinced that a lot of jokes in Family Guy were just designed to fill the episode duration.
Oh yeah,
Some of them are like
chicken fight.
There's a few that are a minute long or more, and you're like, all right, they just ran out of things.
Or the stylings of Conway Twitty, and then Conway Twitty sings like a full song. But you've seen that where they just have they cut to a music video, and it's a full music video of Conway Twitty.
I don't remember
Bum
that.
bum bum. They do that several times.
That sounds like a Beavis and Butthead move.
Yeah, and then they have and all the chicken fights. They just get longer and longer every time.
Yeah.
But they're like,
we don't have to write.
yeah.
I mean, you kind of have to write.
The fights are actually pretty well coordinated, though.
Yeah,
I will
you
say.
don't have to write jokes. Like, I don't know. Yeah, the chicken fights, I'm not sure if they're entirely filler.
I think
Not the way that, like,
openly admitted it. I think they were like, oh yeah, no, we didn't have any other plot for this plot line, so we just like needed like a few minutes.
But the like filler that takes work, whereas the other filler is like 12 times.
Yeah, that I hate that one too.
I have the victim's ID
Family
card
Guy.
right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense. The other crime scene, bitch.
Yeah, I remember there's two.
Science.
Magnets.
When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. A lost item report? It's only half completed. But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess, you believe this something to be his ID card, right? I can't say for sure, but there is a high probability.
Yes,
such as the part where he can't fill in his ID card number on the card because he doesn't know it, and he's wrong.
I think it's gonna have you pointed out.
Like, just... Yeah. Can you find the map?
The map!
On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. Order? Order? So now, what does this all mean? It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card.
Why didn't you just fucking show it? Maybe because it doesn't look like him? Is that why? I guess that would be why.
Order. Does the prosecution have a response? I mean, this whole testimony relies on the stupid idea that Meekins just closed his eyes and I never saw the person he was fighting.
Which he was facing, and you know. But the thing it's like, okay, so if the person that Meekins fought is not Detective Goodman and stole his ID card, he would have been smarter just flashing Meekins' ID card. And Meekins is such an idiot, he would have noticed that they weren't the same person. They look close enough alike. Just like you just.
I think
you
I said before that I was pretty sure it was the cowboy guy because of his sideburns or whatever.
Yeah, I think
he has like the hair.
I think you're right, but I just think like just showing an ID card. Most like people get into clubs all the time with ID cards that aren't their own. You just need to show one. People don't look at you that much. They're just like, oh yeah, sure, you have it, so it must be you.
Yeah, although that cops might be the specific kind of people that actually do look though. Cops and people who sell alcohol. Like at a store, and more so.
I don't know if you've noticed, but during this COVID time, they haven't been looking at people's ID cards when you buy alcohol now, because they don't want to touch it. So like a lot of places I go to, they literally just ask you what your birthday is. You just give them your birthday, and like I have my ID card out because I'm a good person.
I went to Bevmo, and I didn't buy alcohol, and they carded me.
Well, they have to.
Yeah. I just wanted my s'mores.
I was telling someone that story because I thought that was so funny. I was like, Keith, who doesn't drink any alcohol, buys s'more crackers and ginger beer.
It's the only place that sells either of those things
from Bevmo consistently, but doesn't ever get alcohol. They probably wonder what's the deal with this dude?
I just go to the random. That's like the party corner basically, where they have like things people mix with drinks, and they have a bunch of snacks, and some of those snacks are neat. Like they have chocolate mixed with honey and chocolate mixed with bacon. Like those kinds of candy bars are in there.
Yeah, they have a lot of hip stuff.
They have the weird s'mores mix thing, which you like. Like that stuff.
That is pretty good.
That's pretty good shit.
Yeah.
And they're good finds.
There's a bunch of those little.
There's good finds in there.
Mini like cereal or hot cocoa marmarshmallows all over it, like these little crunchy ones. I love those.
Yeah,
little
and the
crunchy
graham
ones.
cracker stuff also has like a cereal kind of texture to it, so it's just such a good little thing.
On like
I think the entire bag in total is only like 500 calories, which is low for that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, graham cracker is pretty
it's not a full nightmare.
Decent for you. On a weird side note, I want to tell you that I've had this jar of marshmallow cream in my car for like the past couple like months, and I want to open it one of these days because it's been so hot that I'm wondering what it looks like now. So remind me later. We'll look at it.
It might be like
I feel like it would just be the same, where it would just melt and then reform and then melt and then reform.
What if it had like a reaction?
I love eating marshmallow cream.
What if it's now like what if it's like now some kind of like bizarre like biological weapon?
Place your bets, everyone. We're gonna see how this goes. But I've been leaving it in my car, and I got to a certain point where I'm like, I'm just gonna leave this for a long time. Like
you just forgot it once, and then you just continued forgetting it.
Yep. And then now I'm making an active decision to leave it. To see what happens.
I bought like a brick of cheese or something. Or specifically, it was like it's one of those like bags of cheese where it's like pre-sliced and all the slices are like slightly offset.
Yeah, so you can peel them easy.
Yeah, it was like pepper jack or something. And I pulled everything out of the back of my car, but none of it was in bags. And it was like kind of just got stuck in a corner where I just missed it. And so I found it like the next day, and it was just blue. Like immediately, it was just all blue. I'm like, oh. Well, guess I don't have cheese. Does the prosecution have a response? I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright. I have a theory. We'll see. Because I kind of get the feeling that Edgeworth is in cahoots with her taking the fall and everything. And I'm kind of wondering if he's trying to be so incompetent of a prosecutor that it keeps getting delayed by a day until they have to just dismiss the trial because of the time limit.
Maybe, or maybe maybe he doesn't know. Maybe he's not like complicit in Lana taking the fall, but doesn't want her to get in trouble. So he could be doing that. Yeah. The only reason I think he might be right is because they specifically pointed out that he missed something that was really simple, which is like never something that Edgeworth does. Phoenix Wright was like, that seems too simple for like Edgeworth.
For all those times.
Yada yada.
But yeah, Edgeworth is like, this is weird. Yeah, Phoenix is specifically like, this seems weird. What's up with this behavior?
I didn't think anything of it until he said that, and I was like, oh, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Bravo. Allow me to summarize the defense's arguments. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card.
Yes, we're caught up.
Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright?
Yes.
Yes? What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also a fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. I'm mad a little bit. I'm just kind of mad because, like, you know what the evidence is that the security footage doesn't show a murder is the part where the security footage doesn't show a murder.
Yeah. So
why are we just fucking skipping past that? Like, we had to prove that there wasn't a murder on tape by proving that like there's evidence that the card was missing and the thing was unlocked. I'm like, yeah, but the tape doesn't show a murder.
Yeah, that's plain to see.
Like, it doesn't show a murder. Even in Meekins' own testimony, he just gets knocked the fuck out, and then he just woke up and was told that there was a murder, I guess, maybe, and so he just assumed he did it or something.
Yeah,
but like, his own narrative, he doesn't ever kill anyone.
In that video, there is no sign that Meekins in any way did any harm to this other individual. There's no body on the ground. The only body is Meekins, who is here alive. And
as far as I can tell, there's not. I don't think there's ever been any evidence that there ever was a murder besides just being told there was.
Yeah.
We've never seen a body. No photo of a body.
Well, I mean,
was there even blood?
That all of that belongs at it's at the other crime scene, but we're not acknowledging it's the same crime yet.
The only blood was on the knife and the vase, and I think those were both already there.
Those were already there, yeah. I'm thinking.
Like, I don't. But I feel like they're supposed to prove there was a murder first, and then we're supposed to counter argue that. Instead, they're just like, there was totally a murder. Yeah.
Yeah, just believe us.
Yeah.
Just take our word for it. It's like, all right.
That is, well, I guess that's right. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. This isn't going to end well. Tut 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 tut.
Tut tut tut.
Well, well, it seems you've finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. Right, so the reason why he's smug right now is because this second identical murder was the thing we used to get a second day in court. Like, this evidence was what blew the case wide open. Like, wow, that's crazy. But then we still have the question of what the fuck is this murder supposed to be? Why is there like a Bruce Goodman cosplayer decking Meekins?
Yeah, there's no like.
I don't know what's happening.
There's no like motive.
There's little hearts. And like a moth that's farting.
What? I was like, what are you talking about? You mean along the in the engraving on the sides there?
Yeah, there's a moth that's farting on a house.
Okay, I do see that one.
And there's a four-leaf clover, and then there's like there's a cupid arrow with devil horns.
Oh, okay, what about this? You see, there's just like a big face. If you just take like the whole segment on the top, it's like two tiki faces. Yeah, there you
Face, yeah. Yeah, no, it vaguely looks like a Chinese dragon.
The judge is actually into like
with a hard nose.
Demon worshipping, and so that's like his little.
It really works as an open mouth too.
Yeah.
Because like he's got a little heart nose, basically like a bat nose kind of, and then that's like the uvula and like the back of his throat. We drawn like that one thing in the middle of the oval.
Yeah, and he's got like a little neck too.
Yeah.
No, I think it's just.
And then underneath him is Squidward. With the heart, with like a weird flower-shaped eye or something. I don't know. It's a lot to take in.
It's beautiful, Judge. It's beautiful. You picked out a great decoration for your fancy seat there. I hope you're very happy.
So.
Slam.
So the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. The murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment the defendant used the murder weapon.
I would really establish that the witness is trustworthy. I mean,
no,
that's debatable.
She
bribes everyone with food and has handfuls of boyfriends.
I don't do a trust on her at all.
Trust level low.
Yeah, I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. Then why did we even establish this path in the first place? Like,
we didn't really have any other options. I mean,
no, I mean, like, what was the point of, like, what is the point? I mean, this will matter. Something about this will somehow matter to proving the other case, but there's something weird going on. The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly is the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to?
Yes, exactly.
However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman.
Which is the same murder in both cases, Judge.
Just so, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, you have to do something, or else Lana...
What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this?
Always object.
Always object. What should I do? Should I do nothing or something? Something.
Something. Who knew that would be the answer?
It's a strange choice that keeps coming up. Has it ever been wrong?
No.
Yeah, I don't think it has.
It just makes me think of like that Far Cry, where if you just sit at the table and don't do anything, then you can end the game.
Oh yeah, no, they did that. They did it twice now.
because he tells you, he's like, oh, I'll be right back, and you're sitting at a fancy dinner, and you're supposed to like break out and escape, but if you actually wait like the whole 5 minutes, he comes back, and then he like explains the whole thing.
He just flies you over to a hill, and you like put your mom's ashes there, and you just go home.
Yeah.
Which is why you came there in the first place.
Yes, you win the game.
Instead of launching a political revolution.
Yeah.
And then, in Far Cry 5, you're supposed to arrest this, like, religious cult leader, but you can also just turn around and leave. And then the game just ends. It's very much about... It all very much feels a lot like the... it's like the How It Should Have Ended video for Lord of the Rings, where... They just use the eagles immediately.
Oh yeah,
and just drop the ring in
Mordor
in the volcano. Yeah, and then they're just like, well, that was pretty easy. Can you imagine if we'd walked the whole way? One of us might have died, says Boromir.
I love stuff like that.
Yeah.